Welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another Hat Show episode 264. And in this one, we will be previewing that Plymouth game that is taking place tomorrow. But yeah, big up to everyone that's been inside waiting. Apologies. I am actually using a new streaming software, so just getting to grips with it. And I've only just bought it today and had a little play around with it. So yeah, we was just testing it and things like that. So big up to everyone that was waiting. But yeah, Dad, before we get into the Plymouth game itself, how have you been last week?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad.
Good.
So the England games are a little bit boring. Well, I didn't even watch them, but I just, first one, 82% possession. One goal and an own goal. Second game's better. Yeah, I don't know, man. We need to be playing better teams, man. It's damaging us. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, just quickly on that, I've always thought, it's the smaller sized nations. I've always felt it's harsh for them to be competing with the likes of England and the better nations because they're never going to qualify. Because half of them are not, they're not footballers. They obviously have other jobs and things. So, yeah, for me, I think the groups should be different and they should be a bit more of a chance for them smaller nations. And yeah, I mean, I watched both the games, but I watched the second game in particular a lot more because we were much better. But again, there's not really too much to take into that. As much as Serbia are the toughest team in our group, we should still be topping the group with ease. Let's just be honest. So yeah, it was better to see though. It was better to see, but we'll see when the actual tournament comes and all the eyes will be on it. But yeah, as for Luton, we are back at Kenilworth Road, celebrating the birthday of Kenilworth Road as well. Obviously, this weekend we take on Plymouth Argyle, who did get quite a good win. Last week they were one of the rare teams that did play in League One. A good win as well against the Stockport team, who a lot of people are saying will be up there. Did win 4-2 in the end. I did watch a little bit of it. Not too much of it, if I'm going to be honest. I watched a lot of highlights after, but I did watch like the first 15 minutes. And they did look all right. They did look all right. I mean, yes, the goals, were, a few outside the box, a few deflections and things like that, and own goals and things like that. But, still an impressive result. They did play, obviously, when we played Barnet as well the same day in the EFL Trophy. They did win. So they're like us in the sense of they're going into this game with 2 wins in a row in all competitions like us. They haven't started the season particularly great. Obviously, there was, stages where, they were flirting with the bottom early on, which no one would have expected. A lot of people, including myself, since Cleverley's come in, as much as we don't really want to admit it, he did do all right at them lot down the road last year. And you thought going to League One, they would do all right. Yes, they've lost a lot of key players, like teams do when they go down naturally. But maybe not expected them to start off how they have, Dad.
Yeah, I mean, he come in late though, didn't he? They was expecting to have the other manager. They've got some half decent players. They should be maybe doing a little bit better. But when teams get relegated, it's not all the time. There's always one that kind of drops off a little bit. But yeah, they'll improve as the season goes on. They signed that Talage from Port Vale. He's a good player. We need to watch out for him. I think they'll end up like mid-table now. I don't think they'll get in the playoffs. But still a sternish test. But yeah, we haven't started super, but we've obviously had that little bit of extra quality, probably, and we've got that over them as well, I believe. So, we've got that game in hand as well, albeit on a Tuesday night and flipping Blackpool at the end of the month. But that just makes it even more difficult, I think. But we should get at least a draw out of that, because they're an established League One team that you never know which Blackpool's going to turn up. That game we had against them before, we beat them 1-0. Luckily, backs to the wall. Nathan Jones' last game in charge, wasn't it?
that we see. I think his last game after that was a midweek game.
Yeah,
Against
Stoke. I
Stoke.
think
Yeah,
Stoke.
and we all knew we were just going to lose.
Yeah. So but yeah, we've changed squad. We're a little bit weak on left back. We know that, but I'm sure that'll be addressed. But generally, especially attacking wise, we're best. If people would have that attack in the championship, they'd be happy with that attack in the championship. So yeah,
Yeah, I think that comes down to a lot of what Bloomfield said recently as well. In the sense of he wants to be on the front foot. He wants us to be on the front foot. And you can see that with the amount of attackers we got. I mean, someone who we didn't unfortunately see, whether that was due to, everything not being signed in time for him to play, but Gabode, we didn't see him in that Barnet game. I thought we might have seen him in that, given that we saw Shaden Morris. But yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see where he fits in. Obviously he's not going to start, obviously, but it'd be good to see, him on the bench. I wouldn't mind that, to be fair. But it's going to be interesting. We got a few players back. Obviously, I did the press conference reaction the other day. And Bloomfield did say a lot of interesting things, especially in the Nakamba comments. Again, check that video out if you haven't already. But he basically said he's ready to contribute. Now, he did also say there's loads of players ahead, as you would expect, Walsh, Lamine, Nelson, the midfielders we play now, Clark, and things like that. But it was interesting. And, I've had my opinions that I felt we need another option as a CDM. And a player I do always forget when I mention this CDM talk is Hakeem. But obviously he's out. We haven't seen him play anyway. So that's why I keep forgetting about him. But, could he be another option? Obviously, Saville's going to be a star. He deserves to start. Based on our ratings, he's been the best player so far this season. But I just worry if he gets injured. And people do say, oh, so and so can play there like Clark. And I don't think he can. I'll be honest. Because the amount of times we've watched games and, we've seen him play there and he's not as good for me. He's not as good at all. So I don't really agree with that. We haven't seen Lamine play there, so I don't think anyone can say that. Yes, he is a CDM, but no one's actually seen him play there. Let's not lie and say we watched wherever he was playing before. Like I say, I haven't seen Hakeem. Some people might have watched Rotherham, but I very much doubt it. When he was there. So yeah, and we were looking at Terry Taylor again, who I mentioned the other day, who obviously did go to Northampton permanently. So there was options to be looking at, but I do think, like I said the other day, I'd rather Nakamba be in the squad. Yeah, even if he's not starting games, he's briefly coming on, then not being in the squad at all. Because to me, you know, that's stealing a wage essentially. Like I said the other day. So very interesting comments there on Nakamba. But yeah, players that are going to be back and featuring whether they're starting or not is Mengi and Anderson. Now Anderson was obviously on very good form. At the start of the year. Do you put him back in? Obviously, we'll get into our lineups, but yeah, do let me know. Do you put him back in for this game? And then Mengi's back as well. He's a player for me that I'd be putting on the bench. If I'd want to bring him on, I'd be bringing him on towards the end of the game. But like I said, if he can get his mentality right, we've got a good player there, but my worry is if he didn't really want to play for us in the championship, what's going to tell us he wants to play in League One? Do you know what I mean? It's just the way he was playing, the sort of that attitude that was coming across is a bit of a worry I do have. But if he's willing to do well, and then like I said the other day, get a move in January, I'll be fine for that. I'll be fine for that. And it's a similar situation elsewhere as well with other players like of Nakamba and that is where I sit with that. Even if they come on briefly, in the games and things like that. But it might be perfect opportunities for them to start in the Virtue Trophy as well. Obviously, we've got Cambridge, I believe, at some point this month away. Could be the type of game for them guys to play in that. Hopefully, just off topic quickly, Ruddock plays in that. Would be quite good to see him in that. But yeah, I mean, it's all interesting. But yeah, like I said, I spoke on it the other day to Nakamba comments. What did you make of him, Dad, when you saw him?
Well, he's going to say that anyway. He's here. Maybe try to get a move. He's on big money. it is what it is. So, he ain't going anywhere for the moment. So, for him to be fit and be prepared possibly for a transfer, or maybe not, and we keep him till the summer, you still got to, look good and play if you want to get a decent move. So, he's a professional. Obviously, we brought him in Premier League and things like that, and he's probably, he probably feels he could still play at that level, or do you know what I mean, or top, so, maybe abroad, but a better level. Didn't materialise. Let's get on with it. Mengi, I think Mengi's a decent player, and he'll end up going to the Premier League at some point, no matter what. He's been unlucky with a couple of injuries. There was that drama about his knee that people were saying that he refused. Do you know what I mean? Whatever. At the end of the day, he is good quality. And if he's fighting for the team and that, he's excellent. There's no doubt about that. We've seen that. And if he's got right attitude, he'll do that. And if he gets a move, again, more likely in the summer, depends what happens with us. Even if we go up, I still reckon teams will be on it. Then fair play. Do you know what I mean? This is what happens when we get back-to-back relegation. You buy these potentially Premier League players, high-quality players. You see Chong got what? Did he get a goal and 2 assists or something the other day?
For his national side, he actually got a hat-trick against Wales' national side. And Wales, apparently, I didn't watch it, but apparently he was awful. I mean, his rating weren't great. It was like a 5 point something.
Yeah, but I think they're relying too much on him, to be honest with you. And, he's an older player as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So, I think Yates has kind of pushed himself ahead of him. Nordas certainly has pushed himself. So, but yeah, that's my thoughts on it. If they're going to come and do a job, then no problem. They're both very good players, especially for the league. So you can't really be moaning about it. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, obviously they're not going to get ahead of other players. They don't deserve to. They haven't justified that. But to have them on the bench and in around the squad is do you know what I mean? Excellent.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, if they're screwed on, and like I said the other day, Nakamba, for me, I cannot see him being that type of player who's refusing to play. I mean, there's obviously, like I said the other day, the club obviously wanted to not have him on the team sheet because, you got to be honest, since we've got him permanently, he's not been as good as he was on that loan spell. A lot of reckless yellow cards for me and things like that. But as a player to bring on, at least until January, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind as a CDM. I mean, a lot of people the other day as well were saying, if he's really on it, for now, he can definitely compete in that CDM role, despite how well Saville's been. And I totally agree. But yeah, as for Mengi, I mean, go back to the Premier League season, Dad, and rewind these shows. People in the chat, we was highly rating him. We were saying he was our best defender. And I believe if he gets his mentality right, he can do that again for us because he can play. We're going to play a back three. We're not going to change.
Especially with the fact that McGuinness is gone.
Exactly, and he can play anywhere across the three.
At that time, we signed McGuinness in as well, even though we had him. And he was a baller. He was doing well for us, and then we was like, do you know what I mean? Spent whatever, and that probably took him back a little bit as well, personally. Do you know what I mean? So he's got the chance to be the main guy. Do you know what I mean? Prove that he's better than Anderson, which I think ultimately he is. Do you know what I mean? But Anderson's as good, especially at level. He knows the level. He'll work hard at the level. He'll pop up with a couple of goals, and I fully expect him to go straight back into the team, given the fact that McGuinness is gone. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit of a no-brainer, really. But yeah.
Yeah, and also just quickly on that, the way Bloomfield was so confident that he's all good to go. It wasn't like, oh yeah, he might have to. We'll have to see. Obviously, he said that in the past with players, but yeah, it makes sense. But yeah, going back to Mengi, I mean, he can play anywhere across that back three, and I like to base. When I have a reasoning for a best defender in the team, I have a reasoning for that because you look at some of the other players, they can only, playing two positions out of that three is still decent, but Longwick can as well. He's probably the other player I say could play anywhere across that three, but the others I'm not really too sure. It's one or two for me, but if he gets it right, he's a top player, and it's like, I said with Morris when he left, you know, I believe he'll do well. And you're seeing what he's doing now. People go, oh, yeah, but they're tap-ins or it doesn't matter. He's scoring the goals. You know what I mean? So, and Mengi's another player I believe can do well if he gets his attitude right, because there is a top player there. But again, like I said, with him and the Nakamba, if they are to come in, obviously, as more, by the sounds of it, more chance Mengi does for now, if not both, then as long as they're contributing and trying for the team for now, even if I think Jackie said it here, let me go on it with the chat. He'll be in the shop window. I think Mengi will play well. Yeah, even if it's based on that, I don't mind, because then he's going to do well for us and then get a move, and we should still get a decent amount of money for him. I'd say, a couple mil, maybe slightly more. He's still a decent player there. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see with that. But yeah, Jackie also says, hi, Ty Daz. I'm going to watch it tomorrow. Nice one. Enjoy it. It's pretty much sold out. I think there is a few more tickets, but yeah, do enjoy that. Big up to Phil as well. Says, good evening, lads. Big up to yourself, mate. Hope you are well. But yeah, as for the game itself, like I say, we're similar in the ways. Obviously, both obviously got relegated. Obviously, they haven't started off too well. I mean, performance-wise, other than our last two in all competitions, I wouldn't really say we've been, great ourselves, but we've been getting the points, whereas they wasn't at the start, except the last two. So should be a interesting game when it does come to that. Obviously, Cleverly is the manager, as we know, so it's going to be a bit heated towards him, as we know. So that'll be interesting. Hopefully, we're doing it in a way that won't age well, and it will actually benefit us to get a result. But yeah, as for the lineup, Dad, going into this game, excuse me, we're on very similar wavelengths going through this game. So yeah, I'll wait for you to share it, and then I'll let you get into your reasoning on why first as well, and things like that. But yeah, do get your lineups in on the chat as well. Would you, put any of the players back in that are rumoured to be back in? Obviously, the likes of Anderson and Mengi, do let us know. And another interesting talking point, I feel going into this game, is that left wing back. Now, do you go with Bramall, a bit more, I'd say, experienced defensively? Obviously did have a good game. I know it's only against Barnet, but did have a good game against them. Obviously scored a great free kick. And he was running forward a lot as well, which I did like to see, because I weren't too sure if he could bring that element to the team. But yeah, let me know. Or would you go a bit more attacking with Ali again? Obviously, again in the last league game against Burton, he was very good there. It's an interesting one when it does come to that. But there you go, Dad. Just got to click on it. But yeah, it's interesting. Do let us know when it comes to that. But we are just getting the lineup up now as we speak. Not too sure what's going on with it. Chong 4. What, did he get 4 in the end? Oh, bloody hell. I thought he only got a hat trick, to be fair. 1 second, people. Jackie says, keep same team, but Anderson at the back. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Right, there you go, people. I'll go through the comments. But yeah, go on, Dad.
Yes, obviously, goes without saying, Keeling goal. I'm thinking we have this back three. I think that Longwick deserves to start back there ahead of Naismith. I'm putting Anderson back in there. And then obviously Makoso straight back in there as well. Midfield for me, I'm going to start Bramall in this game on the left. I think he's good. We'll need a bit of defensive work. Ali's good to bring on. But I'm happy with Bramall being there. I'm going to start with Kadu on the right. I know some people be thinking potentially Morris, but as an impact, because they might plan for him initially, but I think he's better coming off the bench at this sort of game and this moment in time anyway. Saville, CDM. Nelson deserves to start 100% for me. Clark as well, captain, and then up front, Nordas has earned that. Wells has been on international duty as well, so I feel like Yates should start as well.
Yeah. I mean, my reasoning for agreeing with that lineup is the fact that, well, me personally, I feel Naismith for now is a player you bring on to see a game out. I know Longwick is right-footed, and Burley has said that in the chat. And it's sometimes you don't really like to do that, but I feel he could play anywhere across there. And if it's not quite working, maybe put Anderson to the left of that and then put him through the middle. I think that could work. On top of that, Makoso's a nailed on player in that position. And yeah, I've gone Bramall, same reasons as you, Dad. Defensive, more defensive minded. Also, like I said, in the last game, there was them spells of him going forward. And if he can do that at points in this game, I've got no problem with that. And like you say, bring Ali on, especially if we're in a position where it's quite tight and then we can get a goal. Bring Ali on for that, definitely. Just don't put him on up front because I don't really think that's worked, him up front, whether that's coming on or starting there. He's actually been better as a wing back. So, yeah, I'd agree there. Kadoa on the right. Kadoa for me is I don't want to say unsung hero, but Saville's getting a lot of praise, which he deserves. He thoroughly deserves. And I've said large parts of the season last season, when we got Saville in this year, I said he's going to be like a player that's going to make them tackles, do them things. And you've seen that. But Kadoa, I mean, again, actually a striker playing as a wing back, he's been unbelievable. The forward runs, that tackle against Wigan, I know I keep mentioning it, but that was unbelievable. He deserves to start. And as you can see, next to Keeley, my dad has put Matt Bloomfield there. So, yeah, we've got to get Bloomfield in as well. But yeah, Nelson, again, deserves to start. I mean, a lot of people in the fan base are saying that now. So, yeah, I'd definitely agree. Clark, again, a player you have to start for me in this type of game. And then obviously Nordos and Yates. And I'd agree with them as well because they both scored in the last game. Nordos has got 2 out of 2 now. So hopefully he can get another one, 3 out of 3. That would be nice. And then Yates is, like I say, got off the mark. So it don't matter the opposition. He's got off the mark. So that will do him a world of good. So, yeah, I'd agree with that lineup as well. The only one change I was debating to do would have been Bramall for Ali. But, and to swap him. But because it is a team who, for me, are in a false position, and will do better as the season goes on, they have got good players, like you said, Dad. We can't really afford to do that for me. Whereas all due respect to Burton, they're a lower end League One team. So you can afford to start him from minute 1 as a wing back. But yeah, for this game, I'd have to agree with Bramall for this game. But yeah, let's go through some comments. Jackie says, keep same team, but Anderson at the back. Yep. I get you with Nigel. He deserves to start. Yeah, and he does. And also with him, I've always said it. This is just how I am personally. Unless they're playing poor, which he hasn't been, except one of the times he got thrown in as a wing back. I don't think he was too great. But when he's centre back, he's top player where he actually should be. With loan players, you want to utilise them as much as possible. Obviously, I know with him, there's an option to buy. I think it depends if we go up or something. You've got a high possibility of obviously getting him. I do feel. I just think you got to utilise him. So yeah, Jackie says I like him. Yes, we cannot lose this game. Says Burley. Yeah, I'd agree, mate. I'd agree. It's one of them where it wouldn't look too great. And I mean, Plymouth going into it, they've still got that poor away record, like they did last year. It's very similar in the sense of it's still not great. So we need to sort of capitalise on that. I mean, I remember going into the game last year at Kenilworth Road. I think it's towards the end of the season, and I was sort of saying like, "Oh yeah, we need to, win the game really if we're to have any chance of staying up." It felt like one of them massive games, and obviously we didn't quite manage to do that. Obviously it probably wasn't that game, but I just think in hindsight, when you look at the points we could have got in that game, that was a part of why we went down. But yeah, like I'm saying, their form is, away form's not so great again. So we need to try and capitalise on that and go for it, go for it. And like Bloomfield said, we've got a lot of attackers in, so we aim to go, heavy attacking. So for me, we've got to utilise that in this type of game, given their away form, given the fact we're at home, and do it for the Kenny essentially. Obviously it's the birthday, so let's celebrate it with 3 points. That's sort of how I see it when it comes to this game itself. But yeah, we will get into that moment now. Score predictions for this game, Dad. Can we beat Plymouth Argyle on our birthday?
Yeah, I think we've got a pretty decent record against them, particularly in League One. I think we've got that better quality. I think, like you say, Kenny behind us. We've played him a few times. We've had good games over the past. And there's that, like I say, there's that their manager. So there's that factor in there. But yeah, I think I'm quite confident we can get a result. So I'm going to go with 3-1 Luton win.
Nice. That's very confident. And also, Plymouth did do the double over us last year, and I did go to that Friday night game away, and that was not great, to be fair, except towards the end of the game. So, yeah, let's not be doing that. And the home game, like I say, it was a game for me in the end where you look back at it and you felt that was a game that was part of us going down because we didn't quite get the win, especially given their away form. But yeah, as for this game, I'm going to sit on the fence and I'm going to say a draw. I was going to back us 2-1, but I'm going to go over 1-1. But if someone does win, I think it will be us, like a 2-1. But I just feel both teams will cancel each other out, especially the fact in all competitions we obviously got 2 wins in a row each. Yeah, I just think we'll cancel each other out for this game. So yeah, I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. Big up to Chalkster in the chat. Good to see you in here, mate. Has to be same team, only fair. High press was enjoyable. Subs were brilliant around the 65th minute mark. 3-0. Come on, you Hatters. Nice. I like that prediction, mate. Very, very emphatic. I mean, do join the Discord if you're not already, guys. Shout out to Ben in that. He does tune in sometimes. He said 4-0 to us. So, and I remember once, it wasn't him. We had another subscriber. When we played Watford, Dad, actually. Do you remember? And the person said 4-0. And we were like, wow, we'd definitely take that. And it was 3-0. So it weren't far off. So you never know. It could be a similar situation with you guys. Hopefully, get the goal difference up a little bit. That'd be nice. Especially if our attackers. There's got to be some point. Like, I know the Burton game we did. But it's got to be some point at home, with the attacking options we get where we do just win a game emphatically. There's got to be. Like, especially when we play one of the lower end sides. I would think so. But we'll see. Jackie's gone 2-1. Jordan and Nordos to score. That'd be good. 3 out of 3 for Nordos. Yeah, I believe it's 7 on the bench. I think you're right. Yeah, I think it is, mate. Jackie says, come on, you Hatters. Yeah, go on, Dad. Who are your 3 goal scorers then?
So I'm going to go with Yates double and Nelson.
Okay. I'm going to go Yates as well. And you know what? I'll even chuck in an assist from Nordos for Yates' goal. I think he might get an assist like he did last year against Plymouth. And to be fair, he had a good game against them last year. Good link-up play. Got the assist for Brown. So we'll see. But yeah, it'd be good. He's got them goals now. So hopefully that will give him even more confidence. And he can build on that. Same with Yates. But if they both don't score and we get a 1-0, I'll take that and all, to be fair. So, yeah, that's how I see it. Phil's gone 3-1 to Luton. Yates double, nice. Yeah. There's that when it comes to that. But yeah, any final things, Dad, you'd like to say about anything?
Chat GBT's prediction is 2-1 Luton.
Okay, so Chat GBT is going back to what he kept saying at the start of the year. Hoping that works. But yeah, no, a lot of people put different predictions this week. I like that. I think we've all actually said different predictions. I mean, Jamie has said 0-0, which is not too great. Wouldn't mind a clean sheet though. Obviously, I've said 1-1. Darth Vader said 2-0. Jackie said 2-1. Phil said 3-1. Do you know what I mean? There's all different predictions. Obviously, you said 3-1 as well, Dad. But yeah, it's rare. Do you know what I mean? Usually there's a lot more similar predictions. So it's good to see. 3-0 as well. So yeah, man, we'll see. We'll see. But if we were playing Plymouth at the start of the year, I probably would be a little bit more confident. But yeah, I think we could win. But yeah, I just think, I don't know, I just think we might cancel each other out. And then obviously after that, we got, I would say, a tough game after that. Lincoln away, who are doing decent, to be fair to him. Big up to David in here as well. He's gone 4-1 to Luton. Very emphatic. Nice. Nice. But I can understand the confidence. I can totally understand it because, you know, this is the best we've looked in 2 years. Let's be honest. Recently, obviously, the last 2 games. And, you know, people go, oh, you played great opposition. At least we've won. You know, we'd have these sort of cup games in recent years, obviously more FA Cup and League Cup, obviously, where we'd play like Grimsby, Bolton, you know, and we had Stevenage, you know what I mean, and we'd struggle. So yeah, it's looking good with the attack. I still feel if we can dip into the it's not ideal, but if we can dip into the free agent market and get a left back, I would be happy, to be fair. I think our squad would be like even better, to be fair. It wouldn't be ideal because they've got to get into the swing of things, but yeah, I just think if we do that, you know, then I'm more than confident we got a good chance of going back to the Championship next year. But yeah, we shall see. But yeah, any other final bits, Dad, you want to say before we wrap up?
No, football's back. Let's have it. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a game tonight as well. Championship.
Yeah, good shout, actually. I think it's Sheffield United. So another team that are basically former Luton. So
well, yeah, if McGuinness and all that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm trying to see. I can't actually see anything on the lineups, which is a little bit weird. But yeah, I'll try and have a look quickly before we go. Let's just see how many former Luton players are playing in that game. But yeah, it's Sheffield United away to Ipswich. So Chio against his former club as well. Right, here we go. So Chong's on the bench, and that's it. Out of the former player. Oh, McGuinness is starting actually. Number 25. See, it's weird seeing him with a number like that. So that's why I didn't see him straight away. So yeah, I'll probably have a little watch that in the background, see how that goes. Things like that. Yeah, also that. But the thing with that game is that was sort of I don't want to say a one-off game. Well, it was, weren't it? Really? Like, let's be honest. You know, we had that game. Obviously, we did a watch long, Dad. We were like, yeah, okay, let's build on this.
Yeah, he said Chio's not playing. He can't play, can he? This is loan club, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought you went. Oh, yeah. He went there on loan, didn't he? I thought you went there permanently. I forgot. But yeah, McGuinness is 25. What a weird number for him. So yeah, we'll have a look at that when it comes to that. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, that was sort of a one-off game, wasn't it? Like, at least we turned up for that game. But yeah, I remember we were saying, Dad, we should build on that. I remember Mike saying, because he did a fan cam then, he said we need to build on it himself. You know, and we didn't. So yeah, it's one now where we need to really start showing what we're about, especially that attack. I mean, that attack, them options we've got. I mean, Dad, we were saying that before the window was shut and even, well, it's still open, but we weren't really doing as much business. Like the Wimbledon game, that's the reason we won the game. You think now how many more options we've got attacking wise? It's just defensively, I worry a little bit. As much as we've been all right defensively, it's more that left side for me. Because, yeah, the right side's been, well, Kadoa, but I just know Bramall's doesn't have the best injury record. So that's my only worry. Like, he's a good player, what we've seen, but, yeah, that's just my worry when it comes to that. But, yeah, another player we're not mentioning behind me, Lamine. You know, he might even come on tomorrow. And
I mean, we've got a strong bench.
What's that?
We've got a strong bench. We've got a lot in depth, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Another player we're not even mentioning. Shout out to football prizes. As Jamie put a little thing in, and I actually won the shirt, Lamine shirt. Any of you can do it. It's very signed. It's signed. It's last year's top. It's actually signed by him, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I'm sure some of you in the chat would have seen it. win like Jordan Clarker shirts. There was Nelson shirt someone won. You know what I mean? There's pretty decent stuff. So shout out to them guys as well. But yeah, big up to everyone that's tuned in. Do let me know how the stream's been as a whole, because we are streaming on a new platform, like I say, Talk Studio. Shout out to them. Really good options, and the new intro is from them guys. So hopefully YouTube do not be sensitive and block it off. Yeah, it's actually a really good intro. So shout out to them guys. And yeah, as for content, obviously there'll be a match reaction tomorrow to the game. So obviously do check that out. And yeah, everything like that. And there you go. Jamie has just put the link in to the thing where you can get the shirts, and you can get other stuff that leads to putting in more offers for the shirts as well. So yeah, do check it out as well. But yeah, like I say, shout out to everyone that's joined, whether you've watched live now or on playback. Do smash a like. Shout out to new subscribers as well. A lot of new subscribers over the last couple of days. And yeah, obviously we'll be back again on Monday. And then we will be doing one on Friday, previewing the Lincoln game. And then the Lincoln game, I should be live on TikTok. Live's back on there. And then obviously there'll be a match action on here. So yeah, do check all of that out, guys. Big up to everyone that's tuned in. Smash a like, subscribe. Follow me across all my socials. Subscribe to the extra channel. And yeah, until next time, we'll see you guys in a bit. Take care and peace.
Hey.